All right. As said, I wanted to make a little series about decision making. I have a little game. Well, it doesn't go too long, so I think it is really little. I want to go to it rather quickly. Yeah, not want to lose too much words about the early start. It was a rare setup where I really was on eco, so I will have 20 minutes, or let's say like, yeah, nearly 20 minutes of pretty sure unobstructed building up. So you will see me going earlier in Empire Research level 2. Just quick little tips I want to emphasize. I usually hold out a bit with the Vitra Weapons Lab in case I have a primordial around me, and usually you see this after the first scout jumps, but I saw ice and volcano, so there was none. So I went with the weapon lab because you do need a red for the planet item for the primordial, which is a really good item. But yeah, I still had one in the corridor, so I was trying to get a red from someone. I would still really be firm about the decision that I would never build a fleet beacon at the start. Also in this case, like I have 20 minutes as said, so I could potentially get more of the investment of the second cap back through the mining point and logistic point you get from the mining ability, like the colonizing ability. But yeah, it is just the fleet beacon will be basically anyways destroyed later on because it doesn't really like it is not a distance I want to cover with the cap when I want to have more reinforcements. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, like long jumps here. 5, potentially even 6 to the battle if I push forward 6 jumps. So it is just not something I would recommend having a supply line of this. Like obviously you can say, well, these are 2 nanofactors that I'm also not gonna use hard, but you will see me keep producing ships. So I am using them, so I can colonize in multiple directions, and I will arrive with some ships at the start, which does make me, yeah, a bit stronger than, for example, 1 egg and like 2 Ravastras. A little trick I also see the higher players using a lot and others not so much is when you're connected to an allied neutral faction, you can basically ignore the garrisons. I did snap the siege frigates, obviously, so I could just colonize it. That is something that was used back then a lot. But now the neutral factions actually clear it for you, because they consider the garrisons as hostile, but you as friendly. So both this system I didn't have to clear. The green I didn't see it from the start, so that's why I was cleaning it. But it was also not so heavily garrisoned. So with like the egg AOE, I could get rid of the corvettes. With my second little fleet, I cleared the backline. Keep in mind that you need some form of PD because the light frigates are really bad at dealing with the corvettes. So yeah, some built some wardens. Um, I I'm not a huge fan of them. They have their place, they're fine, balance wise, but I just don't like building them blindly. They're so defensive. They're really only good for PD and missile. And yeah, defensors are a bit more flexible, a bit more aggressive. That's why I like to press them. So yeah, I will clear up the back of my cluster with my second fleet, and I think this is always the important moment, like minute 15 to 20 for you guys tuning in, that I want to look out, that you really keep a good eye on how the map is ahead of you. Like this move to the Pharos was actually already very greedy because this is already like a center planet. And yeah, you not often can do this. Like for example, if I would have seen that Ace, my aggro ally, would have been already pushed back and maybe even losing, then I cannot do this, or at least I would have had to rush over to the Baron or already producing here, basically to jump in here from the side to help him, because it is really important to keep him in the game. But I saw he had the joke, he was already like having a lot of lead supply, he has the freebooter, so I know he will definitely be able to punch back or at least hold his ground. So I went for the greedy option, and yeah, I will see in the medal income that I'm already really well set up. So this is one of the very rare games actually where I go crystal nanites, because I am set on metal, so the only thing I'm lacking is crystal. And here I was in-game debating between going to this Baron or to this desert. It helps usually to press the future orbit button, and then I saw like the Baron will have a quicker travel time backwards actually, so the desert is really nice, but it's also a bit more risky because I really have to assume red is coming in. But yeah, I didn't see close planets nearby, right? And I did check like these systems. I saw he wasn't here. So yeah, he could only produce from this ship graveyard, but I have some fleet with me, and I could still like quickly build up here if like if he were to really push with a lot of ships. But yeah, I felt fine, and having a rich planet as your building block is obviously really nice because you can easily go up to 5, even potentially 6 factories. So that is yeah, it is actually sustainable because I have we have another home world, I have a primordial, I have 2 volcanoes, I have a lot of systems, and I even have a desert which will scale well. And even this was supported by the garrison, by the neutral faction, so I could immediately ignore them. And when I saw him jumping in, just focus fire him. He could have gone for the planet snipe, but yeah, wisely enough, if you look at it closer, then he does barely get away. With the Graph Warhead, he will take quite some damage, and now I have some fleet. Also, the turret's building up. I already have a factory up, which is producing. So it was wise of him to actually abandon this idea and leave, because he would actually could have gone into cripple state, which is not something you want early on. So I think that is already all I wanted to show. To summarize, like even on eco position, I would not go multicap nowadays because I just think you don't need the fleet beacon; it's just wasted resources. Also about, I mean, you could say, well, these are also wasted now, but like in a bit of a different setup, you could still, like I usually do this, like build raiders back here, but my actual fleet up front somewhere, like for example, if the enemy was closer. So you can still use them and build like a secondary fleet out of it. I like this. It is a bit easier with the fleet builder. Like for example, I put raiders in one fleet bind and then just produce them in the backline, and then you can also use them as a surprise. And they are obviously also cheaper than the fleet beacon. Yeah, the fleet beacon is just, I mean, even one fleet beacon is more expensive than 2 factories. And 2 factories are really nice because I build a secondary fleet. I also keep checking if there are systems that my allies left behind. I saw this, I wanted to go for this, but Ace actually also went for it, and I left it to him because I was already like very well set up, and him also developing a bit is obviously very helpful. I did eye these planets, but I wasn't sure that maybe he will get them later, and I don't want to be like overreaching because I'm already like at 11 systems, and this is just very fine, especially with like a very well scaling planet like the desert. After the production plans, I would have gone for the labor centers. It's even worth it to go the last level on logistics and put 2 of them, and then get to 400 pop, because with the items you get like too close to 400 or 420%. Yeah, you definitely get over 400, and then max mining tracks. And with the crystal nanites with 5 survey points, that's like 1.5 crystals on top of it, right? So yeah, it is a very rich planet, and I already have the home world. Yeah, so I'm, as said, very well set up. I don't really need more systems at the moment. be aware to get quickly enough tier 3, because even though I'm 200 fleet supply away from 600, I have 5 factories now, and I'm just gonna punt ships. You will see I will get very quickly to 600. I don't really need any more Civ tech. You can also check the numbers. I'm on 2614. That is very high for 26 minutes in. So I will have easily enough ships. I didn't even have to full sell my Exos. I mean, I wouldn't blindly sell them. Usually trading is always the best. Second priority is if you get like the Chiskun, the Vitorask, you could also get a bit more credits from selling them. If you're Alliance, you could also have sometimes the Avons, which give you like a plus metal crystal price buy. The Alutar have plus crystal, but yeah, usually don't need it. I actually ran out now of crystal because I had so much metal. I was pressing like basically everything I could. So yeah, it's also nice, but at the start you usually need cheaper metal. Yeah. But yeah, you see now I rise very quickly to 600, so that's why having the warfare ready up is very important. Yeah, so my ramp up was here much quicker than the other guy, also due to fortunate spawn. So from there on we will just keep on rolling. Also Ace had a good game. He built lots of ships and yeah, it made sure we were both stronger than our respective opponents. So yeah, that was an easy roll. I don't want to show the rest. Yeah, as to summarize a bit again, I think important little caveats are like I would really go with the one cap frigate style, even if you're in safer positions. It allows you to be stronger at the front from the start and not to waste too much money in fleet beacon and even be tempted to build caps there. Because obviously, like when you go caps, you're tempted to get the experience and want to invest more into caps, but they're just still like the high cost still remains, right? So yeah, frigates are the way to go to be dominant. And I think from theory, it really makes sense that you always have a offensive mindset as Vasari. Like my goal is never to be like somewhere, oh, I want to build turrets here and then see from where I go. From my Vasari point of view is always I want to go and I want to see where can I attack, where can I use raiders. You already see me actually setting this up. This is exactly what I am trying to emphasize. I'm already building raiders here. Like every time I had the feeling I'm not building frigates, I pressed some raiders. I will soon put them in my second fleet because yeah, we are doing fine here. I could have obviously sent them to the buildings here, but I think it's sometimes nice if you get like a little raider ball, you can sneak them in, and then yeah, I will send them through the backline here, right here, over here. And then if you like suddenly arrive there and snipe buildings, force your opponent to react to it, it is it is very annoying to deal with suddenly. Because obviously we won't have any factors here, right? And even if he were to retreat and reacts with his fleet, then I'll just go to light blue, and he is probably on the other side doing stuff or coming towards us, so it also gives information. For example, if he were to come towards us and like 3v2 us. But yeah, it is always really helpful, and they pay really quickly themselves back. So I would always keep in mind to try to somewhere sneak in raiders. Yeah. And as said, like the neutral faction clearance, it is a underused mechanic. It's really nice. So if you see friendly ally system, I would just snipe the siege frigate and immediately leave. It's basically a free planet with free clearing. It obviously gives saves you a lot of time. It potentially made me still like getting to somewhat to the front even while being greedy. Um, and yeah, I mean, to summarize, it was a very good spawn. So it is nearly an auto win spawn. Like I'm pretty sure I could have even fought them both together given a bit more time, even if like for example Ace would have had a very bad spawn or would have been a bit crippled. Yeah, so that all went really well. Ace also really well was still like trying to clear some of his systems. So I was talking with him like, should I go to this planet or not? And I was like, maybe I try the desert, and you can still have these planets. So like even as an aggro, he would get to 3 planets and 5 asteroids, and I will obviously also share the loot from the incoming systems with him. So he would definitely be a very strong mid game, even later on late game player. So that's always good team wise, right? So that's why we were gonna be completely dominating our side and basically have won in like 40, 50 minutes. And that creates a huge threat to the overall team, right? Because then blue is next, so he has to run back fully and try to help to deal with us, and it frees up space for our other team. Like we had our enclave guy, and I told him from the start, just dig in. You will definitely feel a lot of pressure, but if you manage to survive, which you did with the homeworld, then he will always remain a threat because Orange will try to impact pressure and make pressure as well because their aggro guy died, their suicide guy died. But it also means that Blue can just bypass and start do what he did now here. Bomb the backline and retake a few systems, and suddenly Orange has a lot of fires to put out, right? So he actually did really what we wanted him to do, so that's very good. He had to face a strong aggro player, and he is a bit more of a returning veteran. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about this game. See you.